guys. So since Kyle is always doing, Kyle does the real talk with other artists or celebrities. This time, I am honored to do the
Honored.
question so that we also get his point of view and his, side of everything. Did I do that right? Did I
Yeah.
do that right?
You did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's start. Are you ready?
No.
Well, it's not really, basta. First and foremost, I'd like to ask you, how are you?
I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Nothing's bothering you right now.
Well, there's stuff, but like, I don't really care about it really to myself. I'm talking about if I'm talking about mental happiness, like where my mental state is, I'm very happy. Very happy where I am.
Well, that's good to hear. I guess maybe you want to share what keeps you busy nowadays. Nowadays, we've been in the, lately. What have you been up to?
And nowadays, yeah, it's still my album. Still working on it because we're not 100% finished, but still working on getting that done because I want to get it as soon as possible before we start shooting for our show. So yeah, I think that's one thing that that's keeping me busy and getting active again, because at the start of quarantine I was very active in Cebu running up the mountain, but I don't have that here now, so I'm trying my best to just work out at home or wherever I can really.
We are all affected one way or another and in different levels because of the pandemic. How do you feel about this pandemic? Yes.
I mean, obviously it's horrible. Obviously so much things happen, not just coronavirus, but everyone knows everything. A lot of things happen, not just to the Philippines but to the whole world. But for me, in the midst of all the negativity, I'm trying my best to stay positive, because that's honestly the only thing you can do, rather than dwell on negativity and lahat ng mga nangyayari sa buhay natin ngayon. Kailangan nakafocus tayo sa mga pwede natin i-focus. Yung mga, whatever's positive, you have to take it and make it feel even more positive than it really is, to be honest. Because for me, I have a lot of different things that are happening with my life that are positive, and I am forever grateful for. Even though the pandemic happened, I tried my best to work on myself, work on my mental happiness, work on my physical appearance, stuff like that. And honestly, I'm just happy that I was blessed the way I was during the pandemic.
Okay. Well, I guess my next question probably have answered already, and that would have been, how has this pandemic affected you?
Okay.
So
well, it affected me in both positive and negative ways, because you miss your friends. It's normal. Nakakamiss talaga yung makita nyo yung mga kaibigan mo, pero at least may video call pa rin. Imagine if something like this happened in the 1980s or something like that. That's why we have us millennials, us Gen Z, have to realize how blessed we are to be in the time that we are.
Yeah, because I would probably crazy.
Yeah, you would go crazy if this was in the 1980s. Imagine you don't have your internet, you don't really have anything.
All that stuff. Yeah. What are your realizations given this long halt from our normal lives? Have you realized
realizations? I think kind of like what Darren said. The saying of don't take everything for granted has a whole different meaning now. It everyone has to actually realize that actually means something now, because no one expected this corona to happen. No one expected the pandemic or any of the problems the world is facing to happen. But we are, and it's honestly saddening. But realization that I had was just think of the positive things more than the negative, because before the pandemic, I'll be honest, negative things hit me a lot harder than they do now. Before the pandemic, I was always hurt by these things that would happen to me, always hurt by even the small things that would happen in my life, like from the plastic people to the
Toxic.
bashing, yeah, toxicity, bashing, all that hurt me. But I know that me as Kyle now, if I was in that position right now, I would be in a better place, because I know, because now my heart is like, it takes positivity so much better than negativity now. So
That's good.
that's good.
Yeah. You had mentioned that, back in the days, or back when, before the pandemic, when something bad would happen, it would have put a toll on you more than it would have now, if it happened now, So my question is, did you ever feel depressed then?
In my
Or
life.
even, yeah, or now? How?
Well, now, no, I'm nowhere near depression, but like before, yeah, of course. I've went through that. I went through telling myself that I don't want to cheat on tomorrow, or what if I just stop everything? And it doesn't even have to be just my life. It's not even just about my life in general. It could be about my career. It's like telling myself, why am I still doing this? Why am I still in showbiz? Like, even though me as a person, as a human being, I know I love my craft. This is my dream. I've always wanted to do this. But there's times where it's just like, you wake up one day, it's just like, why am I still doing this? It's like, why do I have to go through all of this just to get to my dream? And I went through depression. I went through the saddest parts of my life so far. And I know it could come back. It could come back. Like, even now, I am the happiest person I've been in a while. But I know that it could come back because it's depression, and it happens all the time. I know that now, looking at what I was sad about now wouldn't get me sad now. But I know that that's not the saddest things in life that I'm going to go through. So that's why I'm always keeping that positive attitude and looking forward to my future more than anything.
Right, so you've been through depression. So if you don't mind me asking, what makes you feel down?
Like now?
No, like in general, I guess. Or
Like before.
Yeah, okay.
You want to do like before, now, and
Yes.
before
yes.
and now. So before, I think I went through like really depressed times because of this. There was a point in my life where there was a person in my life that would like keep me at my happiest point. Like, that person would get me through anything. Whenever I was sad, whenever I was happy, that person was always there for me. And I had to get rid of that person in my life, only to end up being in another like friendship that was supposed to, like me as a person thinking this is going to help me get rid of that person that I had, that I let go of, easier. But it made it even harder because that person that I met was very plastic. It was very, the surrounding was just horrible. Everything that happened to me was just otherworldly, and it didn't make sense to me, and it got me even the worst times. I think the best way for me to get out of depression and things that make me down,
how did you recover from that state?
alone time, loving myself, depending on no one but myself, because
Nice.
I've always been a person that loves too much, or not really too much, it's just I trust too much. There's no sometimes, yeah, I mean, too much, anything that's too much is no good at all. But for me, I trust too much, and I started to learn how to guard my heart, started to learn how to not be dependent on anyone, and just love myself before anyone else. The thing is, I always had love for myself I mean, I have insecurities. That's normal. But I've always had love for myself. It's just that I never invested time into myself. And like, it's not being narcissistic, but it's just, I mean, like, by investing time into yourself, it's just acknowledging the things that you want in your life and the things that you strive for and who you are as a human being.
So, of course, other than being an artist, doing all your songs, acting, and all that stuff, you also have what we call like the normal life,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to do your schoolwork and all that stuff. So, how do you juggle time between work, finishing school, and having a social life?
I mean, it's hard. At least I have online school. I've always had online school. I've always had homeschool. I love how my mom's asking me this. I mean, she knows, but this is for the people. Yeah. I always had homeschool, and then whenever I can, hi Bella. But no, whenever I can, I always make sure that I'm caught up in school, um, work. Yeah, of course, that's number one at the moment, because that's where my career is there. I mean, I'm happy that I'm able to work, to be honest, in times like this. But I'm happy that I'm finding work, and then play, as in like friendship, times like that. That honestly is so important in this industry, especially because napakahirap talaga maghanap ng mga totoong kaibigan. Um, Tapos, whenever you find that true friend, you have to keep them. There's only two people in my life that I could say I have trusted wholeheartedly in the industry. And I'm not going to say who it is, but there's only two people, and I'm 100% honest.
What would you consider is the most painful feeling you have experienced as an artist?
I think as an artist, yung pinakamahirap na pinagdaanan ko, isang beses na umiyak ako ng sobra. I think it's the night of the top 4, yeah, the Voice Kids. Now, I wasn't crying because I didn't make it. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't the best singer out of everyone. They all were going through competitions. I was my first, and I was blessed enough to make it to top 6. Atisara brought me all the way. The one reason why I was crying my heart out, it didn't make sense to me, is because I felt so bad that Atisara didn't get a single one of her artists in the top 4. And that's the first time in history. It's kind of like I wasn't thinking about myself, but I was thinking about our team. Like, if I wasn't gonna make it, please let Zephany make it. Like, why can't one of our team make it? It was really sad. The night it happened. I think that was the hardest one that I went through as an artist. Can't really think of anything else besides, because I'm learning to not be scared of failure anymore, because it's inevitable and you just bounce back. There's only one direction after you're all the way at the bottom, which is up. So ganun lang.
So, as an artist, now what about in love?
In love, I think mom already knows this, man.
Yeah, well, you know what? All the questions I'm asking, I pretty much know the answer. But we're doing this so people will know you more, and see what's
Okay, so
inside that.
sige. So in love. So I mean, aminado naman ako, nagka-relasyon naman ako. Mom knows that, Bella knows that, my whole family knows that, because they were connected to that girl. I think I'm not gonna say which one, obviously, in respect of the girl and in respect of my privacy. Pero isang beses na nag-break ako sa isang babae, tapos umiyak ako ng sobra, because I think that was my longest relationship out of all the relationships that I've had. And it was the most, like, for me, it felt like the most time invested and like the most love that came out of my heart. If you guys, kung naiintindihan nyo, yung parang sa kanya ako nagbigay ng pinakadami kong pagmamahal. You get it? Like
Yeah.
like I let all of my love out for that person, and it just sucked that we had to end like that. And also it was the way it ended too, which was even harder for me. And I think that's why I came to my mom home and I was just like, wow, this hurt.
I remember that clearly. Times you've been hurt, the many times you've cried. Yes, I was there and I'm happy that I was there. Right? Well, but your heart is good now.
Yeah, my heart is happy.
At this stage of your life, what are your priorities?
Top 3 priorities. Of course, my family, work, school, obviously. School, because after being an artista, it's not gonna be pang habang buhay. So you always have to have your school with you. Then I guess 4th, friendships, obviously.
Now, how do you deal with bashers and haters? Or haters?
I mean, my mama would know this the most.
Ever since you started.
Yeah, ever since I started, I've always been bashed. I was the most bashed out of the Voice kids. And my mama was there, and she realized how bulletproof I am to the bashing. I guess there was only like 1 or 2 times where it like really hit me, but like I was like pretty bulletproof to the bashing ever since I was little. Kasi naalala ko nung nasa The Voice kami, ako yung pinaka-binash, diba? Kaya, ako may access naman ako sa Instagram ko. Nung bata pa lang ako. So, I would read the comments. I would read the comments on YouTube and everything. Everyone would be like, you're not deserving. Tapos may isang beses na nakita ako na mama ko na nagbabasa. Sabi niya, don't watch it, Kyle. I don't want you to hurt. And I said, Ma, how am I gonna know what they're talking about? How am I gonna know how to prove them wrong if I don't read the bashing? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people bashed me during The Voice, and I accepted every bit because some of it was true, that I wasn't 100% as good as some of the other artists, but I knew that I worked so hard during The Voice. I knew that as a kid. I knew that I was trying my best to work hard and show that I'm deserving. Doesn't mean I was 100% the best, but I had my own genre and my own unique voice, and that's what Ate Sara saw in me, and I am forever grateful for Ate Sara. But bashing, yeah, until now, I'm pretty bulletproof to it. It's just that now, nakita nyo ngayon, nag-real talk na ako, nagiging open na ako eh. Kasi, I kind of got tired of the saying of all of the management saying, wag mo nang patulan o mga ganon, wag mo nang mga ganon. Like, they're just talking about, like, don't talk about it. But there's times where it's over the belt. There's times where it's under the belt. Below the belt. There's times where it's below the belt, and if I'm not gonna talk, who is? And it's time to change that. It doesn't make sense how just because we're artistas, dapat magiging perfecto kami sa mata ng mga tao. And I've been watching podcasts, and one thing that's very famous between celebrities, because the podcasts that I watch are in the States, it's people don't realize that celebrities are humans, or artists are humans, and it's inevitable that they're gonna mess up one day. I'm sure everyone has messed up one time in their life. No one is perfect, and there's just once you've messed up, you just gotta bounce back and accept it. I mean, once you mess up, it's inevitable. That's one big word. It's inevitable.
Yeah, and also there's a fine line between criticizing someone or bashing and making up stories about someone.
Not just that. I think it's also criticizing and bashing. There's a big difference between that too, because bashing is just like, you just want it. You're just spreading negativity. At least criticizing, some people, I've been bashed before, but it was actually in a nice way. It's just like, hey, Kyle, you're not doing this right. Maybe you want to work on that. It's like, that's criticizing. It's just like, You can work on that. But bashing is just like, you are horrible. You are this. You are that. It's like, I know you probably have nothing else to do with your day, so you can do
The
that.
funny thing in your situation too is that people were making up stories.
Oh, they make up
you know,
stories even up till now. Even up
Yeah.
till now. Yeah.
Make up stories, and yeah, sometimes it's just too much. But then again, you just have to shrug it off, because if it doesn't help you, then ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's all the more if it's not true, then why even bother?
The one thing you have to know to yourself is you know yourself more than anyone does.
And for as long as you know that you're doing the right thing and not doing anything bad, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
You know? Do you have any message for your bashers or haters? Personal message.
Una po sa lahat. Maraming salamat. Thank you. Man, bashers make you famous at the same time, so thank you so much. It helps. And wala lang, I hope that you have. Yeah, at least they're talking about you. At least they actually care. It shows that they actually care.
Noticed, right? They actually noticed you exist.
And I mean, come on, I can't blame you all. I know me, even as a kid, I used to have YouTubers that I liked, like what Edward said, like YouTubers, then they make an issue, like they have an issue, and then you bash them. It's normal. I mean, yeah, but like, one thing that I can say about the bashing, please stop making up stories. Stop making up things just to make yourself look better. Or, yeah, just
so you have something to say.
Just so you have something to say. It doesn't, like, why? The question is, why do you do it? That's my question. And start asking yourself that too. Why do you need to do it? Again, thank you. But at the end of the day, one thing that we need to do in a time like this is spread positivity more than negativity. And spread awareness in a good light, not a bad light. Napaka-importante yun ngayon. Lahat tayo na kulong sa bahay, lahat tayo quarantine. Ang pinaka hindi natin kailangan is negativity, because there's so much of that in the world. And why are we spreading that?
Okay, now I've watched every single podcast of yours, or Real Talk, and you've always asked this to your guests.
Yep, I knew it. I
so
knew you were going to ask this.
I'm going to ask you, where or how do you see yourself 5 years from now?
22. When I'm 22, man, probably in a better place career-wise, obviously. I still want to work on my music. Hopefully I've already released a couple albums by then, to be honest. A bunch of singles. Not just music, but acting, of course. I want to pursue things that I actually love doing more than anything. And maybe that means making a business, having my own house, investing into land, other things like that. That's the goal.
Just curious, have you ever thought, or do you ever still think of wanting to be a car racer? Because I know when you were young, you were into it.
I think
So
about it a lot, Mama.
Do you see that in the near future that you will go into racing?
I mean, racing, you have to start young. That's one thing. You have to start young, and I've known how to drive ever since I was 8 years old. Pero, I mean, if the chance is, if I can take that chance, yes, I'd love to, because that was my, if the opportunity comes, then yes, I'd 100% love to. I'd take that opportunity, because that was my first dream before singing, before acting. Like, no one really knows this, but like as a kid, I either wanted to be a racer or a football player, which soccer, for those who don't know, so football or racer. That was my biggest goal as a kid. And yeah, I think one reason, and then the funny thing is, the reason why I wanted to be a racer or a athlete was because I wanted to make my last name famous. That's what I wanted. That was my goal as a kid. Because seeing like people like Leo Messi or Ronaldo, they know you by the last name. I was just like, ooh, I want to be known as Echarri because that's my last name. I want to make Echarri famous. Wala lang. That's just me.
How about, so you did 5 years, let's go on to 10 years from now, and that will be when you're 27.
I don't know if I want to have a kid yet, but I kind of 27, okay, fine, 29, 28, 27, around there. Because I don't want to be so old that when my kid's 20, I'm stuck in bed, not moving anymore. Like, because I'm happy with... How old is Papa when he had me? 28, right? He was like 28. He was 28, and my goal ever since I was little was to be my dad as a kid. And I wanna raise my kid the same way Papa raised me. And I don't wanna, not that I'm thinking about it now, but I just don't wanna do that too late, where like I'm already in my 50s when he's able to do the things that he's doing.
Well, I don't even see why there should be like a right year, or that kind of. It's more of
when you're ready.
How ready you are, to.
And
to
if you found the girl that you're ready to finish your life with.
Yeah, it's more of your sense of responsibility and finding the right person you wanna spend the rest of your life with. Because having a kid or having children and getting into what we call marriage is not easy. It's not a game. So you have to have your 100% or 200% time invested in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 10 years from now, that's not the only thing. Di naman yun lang yung naiisip ko. Pero, I don't see myself. I don't know if I'm gonna be in the industry 10 years from now. I'd love to, but I don't see myself just being in the industry. Like I really see myself with my own company and maybe even a politician and stuff like that. Even at a young age of 27, because I don't know why, but politicians are usually 40 plus, and I don't know why that has to be a thing.
Well, the youngest mayor or governor was like 23, 25.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, like, it's very rare, though. That's the thing. It's very rare. And you see all the people in Congress right now. They're probably like 60 plus.
Yeah, your thing is blurry. Well, for as long as you're responsible and
as long as you're ready to, as long as you're ready.
Competent, right? Tama ba yung word competent?
I think so.
Yeah. Very competent. So, yep. All right. Next. Oh, we just talked about it. When would you consider is the ideal age or time to settle down?
I already talked about it.
Okay. So, all right. You've shared you've shared so much about dreams and all that from when you were young, what you wanted to be. Now, but what is your ultimate dream? Well, let's start with the family you have now.
Okay. The family I have now. Man, my biggest goal, I've always said this ever since. I want to buy you guys a house. That's the bucket list. That's at the top of the bucket list. Buy you a place that you and Papa can settle down and live together and not have to worry about me anymore. Take care of me as much as you do anymore. I want to grow up so that you guys can grow old together. And that's so... and I want Bella to spend more time with her dad too. That's also one thing. I mean, imagine I've spent more of my life with Papa than Bella has. And that's just one sad thing to think about. But I'm still very blessed that my sister is the way she is.
Well, thank you. Now, your ultimate dream for yourself.
Success in life more than anything, not just career, but in life in general. Success means happiness, fulfilling my dreams, and happiness, really, yeah, and just
Okay.
becoming a better person day by day.
Your ultimate dream when you have your own, or for your own family.
For my own family, if I have my own family, when I have my own family. Oh, man, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to live in Spain. Like, it doesn't even have to be for good. It's just like for a year or 2 or 3. Like, it's just my dream. Learn how to speak Spanish and then live in Spain. Study my history, my roots. Find out different cousins that I have, different relatives that I have in Spain, and just live with my family in Spain. But I always say this, that my retirement place will always be Cebu, where I'm going to end my career and settle down, is going to be Cebu. My heart belongs there. I really love
So
Cebu.
pretty much whoever that girl will be must be okay with living in Cebu.
Yeah, and no one's not okay with living in Cebu. That's 100%. No one is not okay with living in Cebu. If you don't, you're not my future wife. If you have a if you have a problem with living in Cebu, you're not my future wife. That's the thing.
So maybe then before you court somebody or get interested.
Say,
with
hey, do you
someone
like Cebu?
else, do you have any regrets?
Come to think of it, no.
Not a single one.
I feel like everything wrong or everything that I've done, good or bad, has shaped me to be the person that I am today, and I am very content and very happy with the person that I am today. So it's hard to tell yourself that you regret something, because everything happens for a reason, and what if I didn't do this? I wouldn't be who I am today. What if I did do this? I wouldn't be who I am today. So yeah.
So no regrets. Okay, I believe you. All right, and I think we're gonna go down to the last question.
Yes.
If you were to go back in time and given a choice, would you still want to join the entertainment industry?
Now, I always ask myself this. I'm so happy where I am today because it's my dream. Since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a singer, actor. That's the dream ever since I was a kid. But I don't think it's I regret, or I never, if I go back in time, I wouldn't go to The Voice. I think I might have joined in a later time. That's what I was thinking, because I kind of miss my childhood. I miss growing up. That's the thing, because when you're in the industry, you have to mature so quick, or else you will be judged. And not just that, you honestly mature really quick when you're in the industry. Kids that are in the industry, they grow up so fast. And it's also leads me back to earlier how I don't regret it at the same time, because I wouldn't be who I am today. I think maturely, because I was in The Voice at such a young age, which was 11. I joined the industry at 11. So I grew up in the industry knowing what are plastic people, knowing how to trust someone, knowing how to love. All not just on my own with the help of my mom, my dad, my family, but at the same time on my own because I had to learn how to be growing up on my own at the same time. So it's not going back in time and wishing I didn't join The Voice or join the industry. It's maybe what would have happened. Like I always think to myself, what would have happened if I joined at an older age?
At a later time.
A little later time. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, that was my last question, and like I said, I do believe all your answers. So even as a mother, I would like to thank you for being honest and sincere. I hope people will see that and realize that too. Proud of you, always.
I love you too, Mama. Wow.
Love you.
Love you, Bella.
Love you.
All right. Anyways, guys, that's the end of our Real Talk episode where my mom interviews me. Feels good. Wow. Feels so different being interviewed. But thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Baby, we're too simple.